What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Masterpiece MP-21 Bumblebee with Spike. He is in the traditional Masterpiece box. Very nice looking box. Let's open him up and take a look. Out of the box, you have two figures, Spike and Bumblebee. Spike is in his exosuit mode, while Bumblebee is packaged in his vehicle mode. In the vehicle mode the vehicle mode is that of a very nice Volkswagen Bug. I have to say, I do like the vehicle mode a lot. We'll be talking about that in a second. First off, I do want to talk about Spike. Now, Spike has, how do I say this nicely? He's got real quality control issues, and that has to do with the ball joints on the arms, especially his right arm. This ball joint right here that attaches his arm, or I should say his forearm, to the rest of the body, has a tendency to pop off very, very easily. Otherwise, the figure is okay. I do appreciate the fact that they added the figure in, but it's two-toned. I mean, we have two colors here. Kind of bluish, this light blue and white, and then a little bit of paint here on the chest, and there is a Spike's head in there with a very, very badly molded 80s hairdo. Size-wise, Spike is very tiny. This is Generations Legends Swerve. God, I couldn't think of his name for a second. And as you can see, Spike to the crest of the dome is about the same size. As part of Spike's transformation into his cruiser mode, we'll say, you are supposed to remove the plastic dome, which I have here in the background. What you see is probably a thing of horror. This thing looks more like a mannequin than anything else, but it does get the idea that there is a human in this thing off pretty well, I will say. To transform him, or to start the transformation, you have to pop the dome off, tilt his head all the way up on that pin you see going through his ears, and then turn the dome 90 degrees, and then plop it back on. And sometimes that's easier said than done. The rest of Spike's transformation is kind of crazy, if I'm honest. To start off with, reach underneath his fists and fold out these wheels, like so. Then fold the shoulders forward and push the entire chest down into the abdomen. And then just kind of leave the arms where they are for right now. Come around to the legs and spread them open just a little bit, just enough, so you can flip out these wheels after folding the feet forward. So you fold the feet forward, or fold the foot forward, and flip these wheels out to the outside. And then you could collapse the feet up into the rear of the legs, and then sandwich the legs up into the body and connect them to themselves. Once you have that done, then it's just a question of making the correct folds to put the arms into place up along the body. And they don't like to stay in place all that much. So, there we go. That was the right arm. Pops off very easily. I'm going to see if I could take like a little piece of sandpaper and maybe sand that down a little bit, because it feels like it's hitting something in there and popping off. So, and just getting it back on is, as you can see, rather a bit of a pain in the tuchus. But you can get it back on, and you fold it up, and you wiggle it into place. And here we have the cruiser mode. Oh, forgot to fold the wheels down. And still, I like the fact that they included it. This thing just really needs some panel lines. I can add those myself, though. Overall, it's not bad. If I'm honest, I would have much rather had maybe another Transformer as opposed to Spike. I don't know, that's just me. I'm hard to please. A quick size comparison for you. Bumblebee in vehicle mode is still bigger than Spike, but Spike's actually pretty large. He's about the size of a Legends class figure in vehicle mode, or cruiser mode, or death human bullet mode. Now on to Bumblebee in vehicle mode. It's not bad. I actually do like this figure, the look a lot. Though I'm not sure this is actually what the alt mode looked like in the show. I have to go back and look in all honesty because I remember the Beetle mode looking a little different. This is what a Beetle did look like back in 84. He does come with this extra tire accessory that really doesn't serve a purpose other than fitting on his back. It does fit on his back using this little license plate accessory that plugs in back here, though it's a lot harder to plug back in than it was earlier. The other thing that you need to be aware of is the bumper has a tendency to fall off as well. I just hope it doesn't during the transformation, but it does fall off on its own. Pretty easy to put back, but a little bit of a pain. My biggest complaint, or I have two complaints about this figure in this mode. One, the size. I just think it's too small. That's just a personal thing. Two, and this is more of a aesthetic thing, the yellow paints are all different. I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera, but if you look at the figure from the side, this section, the back hooded or the back section, and this back quarter panel are a different yellow than these panels right here that make up the bottom of the door that is a different yellow from this front quarter panel. It's just weird. I don't know what it is about Takara and Hasbro, but they can't seem to make yellow the same color or same shade of yellow amongst all the parts. Also, for a Masterpiece figure, it's kind of inexcusable to have paint bleed. And what I mean by that is some pieces have been coated more than others, but specifically right here at the tip of my finger, I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera because I can't see it in the LCD viewfinder, but the paint is actually very thin in that spot right there, on the edges up here at the opening of what would be a sunroof, and over here, right here on these edges. You could see the coloring of the plastic bleeding through, and to be honest, on a Masterpiece figure, that's inexcusable. Bumblebee's transformation is really cool. I'm going to say that right off the bat. It's very, very Generation 1 accurate. To start off with, kind of grab the figure and push down on the hood, and that separates the legs from the rest of the body. And then you can swing those legs down and flip the front tires underneath what will be the feet. Then, I don't know how well you could see that, but this whole area, right where the tip of my finger is, what you do is you push the legs underneath, you flip down the part of the hood, and then that part of the hood will actually slide into that section. And getting it lined up is a little bit tricky sometimes. So just push it up all the way, and then pull it down, and it slides up into the torso. Very, very good idea. Next, take the front of the vehicle mode and split it apart. Extend the legs all the way, click the knees into place, and then flip the front of the vehicle mode down for forming the feet. Then take the bottom of the doors, and they will actually swing around the legs, the back of the legs, and they will peg into place right behind the wheels. So taking a look at what will be the left leg, fold that back, flip it around, and peg it into place behind the wheel. And then stand the figure up. Now for the back of the vehicle mode, turn it around and fold out the arms, which are tucked away, hidden in the back with the back lights. And they will untuck and fold down, unpeg them, and they will then snap into place here on the sides. Flip the fists out and turn the arms around, and then take those tail lights and fold them underneath the forearms. And do that on the other side. And finally, one of the last bits is push in the middle of the chest and flip the Autobot symbol around. Then take the back of the vehicle mode and unhinge it, and then swing it down to reveal the head, and flip the bumper section up underneath. But when you do that, you turn the whole back section around, and everything collapses into place. And here we have Bumblebee in robot mode. As you saw, Bumblebee's transformation is pretty easy, but it's also a heck of a lot of fun. And the figure you end up with is just perfect. I have nothing to complain about other than what I've already talked about before, size and the paint being off. But otherwise, this guy's perfect. This little figure is exactly the Bumblebee figure I wanted as a kid. I'm so happy that this thing has been made. Compared size-wise with Spike, you see he's a bit bigger than Spike, but he's also just a little bit bigger than a Generations Legends figure. So let me get a what's a swerve retransformed here off camera for you, and then we'll get him in size comparison. As you can see, he is definitely a little bit bigger than a Generations Legends figure. He is also about, I'd say, 3/4 of size of the current deluxe class Transformers from the Generations line. Now, the figure itself has a bunch of posability. His shoulders are double jointed, elbows, fists do not move, head is fully movable, hips, nice ball joints and bends in the knees. Actually has some foot articulation side to side, front to back. Sorry, side to side, front to back. So you could get him posing in a bunch of different poses. You can even get that stupid pose from the Dreamwave comics where he's got all the big puffy feet. You can also post the extra tire here in robot mode if you so choose. The other gimmick he has is his face does detach and come off, but I'm not going to do that in the video review, but I will show you his extra face is kind of a Bumblebee's extra face is just a little bit of a smile, so it's nothing great, nothing different. He does come with his token blaster. Overall, I think Bumblebee is pretty darn awesome. As you can see, Bumblebee is in scale with the other Masterpiece figures, so my hope is that we're going to get a bunch more mini-bots. Maybe a Wind Charger, a Brawn, so, those guys, a Huffer. I would really like to see us get Masterpieces of those. But I kind of hope they don't include more Spikes. I think the Spike figure is the thing that actually really detracts from the set. Bumblebee in and of himself is pretty great, just has some issues with the paint. Otherwise, he's a heck of a lot of fun, and if you're a G1 fan, he has to be in your collection. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video review of Masterpiece MP-21 Bumblebee with Spike. I'm Spade of the Baltmatrix, and as usual, I will catch you next time.